The Islanders continue to find ways to lose winnable games. We'll have our key takeaways from a 4-3 loss in Vancouver and preview Saturday's game against St. Louis. All of that and more coming up on this episode of the Locked On Islanders podcast.
Your Locked On Islanders, your daily podcast on the New York Islanders. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, everybody, and welcome to the weekend edition of the Locked On Islanders podcast. So glad you could join us today, and thank you for making Locked On Islanders your first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms. We've got a lot to discuss on today's show. The Islanders fall to the Vancouver Canucks 4-3, a game they really should have won, and we'll talk about that and really what went wrong for this team. And we'll get to it. We'll have a full preview of Saturday afternoon's game against the St. Louis Blues at the UBS Arena, and an Islander who made a heroic comeback after suffering a serious injury is our Islanders' birthday of the day. And just as a clue, this player had 2 stints with the New York Islanders. If you've got something Islanders related on your mind, you have a question, you have a comment about something we discussed on the show or a topic you'd like us to talk about, feel free to send us an email. The email address, lockedonislanders@gmail.com. And if you leave your first name and where you're from, we're happy to mention you on the show when we talk about whatever it is that's on your mind. You could also follow the show on Twitter at Locked On Isles. And you can follow me, GIl Martin, on Twitter at Ice Wars, NYR, VSNYI. We'll keep you up to date on all the latest Islanders news, notes, and happenings. And I am live tweeting during nearly every Islanders home and road game. I'll give you some instant insight and analysis, and always great to interact with fans during the game. So please feel free to really get in touch at game time or at any time to talk a little Islanders hockey. So Islanders fall 4-3 to the Canucks. This team in third win, was it? A little less than that even. There 18 minutes in the game. You take that shutdown time. And in this game, if anything, but in really lacking cohesion in this game. And, how did the New York, they win by playing solid defense, by limiting the number of chances in those high percentage scoring areas, and scoring enough to pull off the double. Well, look, didn't do that this game. They got 38 shots on, too many of them from the high traffic areas. Simeon Varlamov, average at best. Again, giving a goal or 2 out of 4 that you really want back. And then when the Islanders took that 3-2 lead, instead of playing tight defense, they opened things up. And one other thing I'll add, and we talked about this on yesterday, the Vancouver Canucks were dead last in on penalty kill. How many power plays did the Islanders draw in this game? You said 0. You're absolutely correct. So the Islanders twice on take advantage of what Ivers' biggest weakness in the game. And unfortunately, Islanders just didn't have a little extra something that carries a team to a 3-2 win rather than a 3-2 loss. And some real problems here. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm a big Barry Trotz fan overall. I mean, his record speaks for itself. But that means that I won't criticize him when I feel he makes a mistake, and I think he made a few of them in this game. And one of them, without question, was this. 2 minutes left in the game, down by a goal. You pull your goalie. Who is out on the ice? Anthony Beauvillier, who granted did score a goal, albeit his first goal in 10 games. Josh Bailey is out there on the ice. You know, it's out there because Barzy was still hurt and Zdeno Chara. What line had been so effective throughout the course of in the last few games? Gee, maybe that would be Pajot, Mary, and Parise. Why weren't they out there? Why wasn't Anders Lee or Brock Nelson, your two most consistent goal scorers? Why weren't they out there? And look, Trotz all his time out, within that last 2 minutes. So it wasn't like you had to worry, if I put them out there, I won't be able to stop the clock. They stopped the clock until done, but you got to have your best and most dangerous scorers out. But you got your best goal scorers out there. And if you don't have those guys out there, Pajot, Palmieri, and Parise, how about Oliver Wahlstrom? And those guys who at least put the puck on. I just don't understand the choices. And again, offensively, you have the same situation with players who you expect to be big offensive contributors not getting the job done. How many shots on goal did Anders Lee have in this game? 0. How many shots on goal did Josh Bailey have in this game? 0. Kiefer Bell, 0. 1 for JG Pajot. You gotta shoot the darn puck. Even Kyle Palmieri, who scored in the game, only had the 1 shot on goal. Team again and accused to look good offensively, but still has his play in his own end in Aho. And those two guys did cost the Islanders in their own zone times during the game. Islanders could have and should have won. They would have won it, but they didn't play Islanders hockey. And giving up 38 shots on goal, and this game just coming back from West Coast trip, the time difference. Yeah, I understand reasons why we bring us out of the Lock Thursdays game against the St. Louis Blues. We have our Islanders' birthday of the day and a lot more still to come on this episode of the Locked On Islanders podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Built Bar. This is the time of year I've pretty much given up on all my New Year's resolutions, but not this year. I'm sticking to my resolution to eat right thanks to Built Bar. It almost feels like it's not really a resolution because I actually enjoy eating them. Have you tried the Puffs? If you haven't, you're missing out on one of Built Bar's best tasting bars. Puffs are the first ever protein-infused marshmallow. Yes, protein-infused marshmallow. They're fluffy, they're marshmallowy. They're not just a protein bar, they're a treat. And like all Built Bars, they're covered in 100% real chocolate. Puffs are a fan favorite. Listen to some of these incredible flavors. Yummy, cinnamony, churro, coconut marshmallow, my favorite, banana cream pie. So good, they're going to be your new favorite. Most Built Bars contain 130 calories, only 4 grams of sugar, and 4 net carbs, but they pack 17 grams of protein. Compare that to a candy bar, which will give you 240 calories, 30 grams of sugar, and dozens of net carbs. At Built Bar, they're all about the taste. They make it taste delicious first, then figure out how to make it healthy. And I don't know how, but they pull it off time. Go to Built.com, use the promo code LOCKED15 and get 15% off your order. That's promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at Built.com. Thank you for making Locked On Islanders your first listen. For your next listen, check out the Locked On Now past nightly recaps of every NHL game, Monday through Friday, with analysis from our local experts. It's free and available wherever you get podcasts. So St. Louis Blues, this was a team that was hockey games. Now they're on the East Coast swing. The Blues, one of the teams that sort of has fallen under the radar as far as national attention concerns. Yeah, they won the Stanley Cup a few years back, but this is a team that still has enough talented pieces to win a lot of hockey games, and they're doing just that. Jordan Binnington and Ville Husso are the goaltending duo that's gotten most of the starts, and Husso really doing an amazing job, a 2.13 goals against average and a .931 save percentage. He is 13-4-2 on the season. Jordan Kyrou has a team leading 21 goals and 50 points. Robert Thomas has 34 assists to lead the team in that department. But you look at the statistics, and it's easy to see why St. Louis is among the better teams in the league. They're 4th in the league in goals scored, 7th in the league in goals against. Their special teams, top 5 in both power play and the PK. They're 2nd on the power play, a 26.5% success rate. 5th in the league on the PK, 4.5%. And they are the best shooting team in the league, scoring on 11.6% of their shots on goal. This is a team that has some size, it has skill, and it has depth. And that is the reason that they are in 2nd place right now in the Central Division, 3 points ahead of Minnesota in that tight home of the playoffs. So the Blue game, they are for playoff positioning, and Islanders are catching nominations for the Blues. Ryan O'Reilly, the top line center, son David side of him. Thomas centers the second line. Davis was left. Vladimir Tarasenko. Remember, during the offseason and training camp, we were talking a lot of Tarasenko. He wasn't happy as a St. Louis. And Tarasenko, 19 goals. Only stuck it out in Swiss. He's playing well. Third line, and Tyler Bozak is the fourth line pivot with Dakota Joshua and Oscar Nico, Nikola, and Colton Pareko are the top pairing. Justin Falk and Torrey Krug are healthy. There's made a shift in the Cup. Can dig down to beat the team. And honestly, the way they've been playing this season, I don't know if they have it in them. The consistency, the desire, that it factor, that's the difference between winning 3-2 and losing 4-3. This year, the Islanders just don't have it. The Blues are on paper right now the better team, and they have to be aware. Look at the power play situation here for St. Louis, and we talked about how good their power play is. 10 different players make 11 different players at power play goal for the Blues. And the amazing thing is 5 players have 5 goals each. No player has more than 5 goals. And then 3 other players have 4. They just have excellent balance on the power play. And beware when the Islanders are on the power play. And this is something that, the Islanders have given up a few too many shorthanded goals already this season for the Blues. This is something that the Islanders have to be careful of on Saturday afternoon. Hopefully they can put together and get a better performance. Again, I'll be live tweeting during the game, and we'll have all of our key takeaways coming up on Monday's show. We've got more to get to on today's episode. Our Islanders' birthday coming up. An Islander who overcame a major injury to resume his NHL and actually had 2 stints with the team. We'll talk about that and a lot more when we return on the Locked Islanders podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by your friends at BetOnline. Football may be over for this season, but basketball is in full steam for both pro and college hoops. From all the latest odds, totals, player performance props to where the next fired coach is going to land, betonline.net is the #1 spot for all your sports betting needs. BetOnline remains the best spot for all your sports scores, podcasts, and news this season. And it's not just basketball. BetOnline.net is your source for hockey, boxing, and UFC odds. And if baseball ever gets underway again, BetOnline will have you covered there as well. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and action. BetOnline, where the game starts. Time now for our Islanders birthday. A very happy 45th birthday on Saturday to former Irish defenseman Brian Berard. Berard, a native of Woonsocket, Rhode Island, with 8 goals and 48 points in 82 games with that year, and had 14 goals, which was his career high in 1990. Power play was traded to the Toronto Maple Leafs, went on to play for the Rangers, the Bruins, the Blackhawks, the Blues. Returned for 2007, but a serious eye injury, set out all 2001 season. Actually announced his retirement before coming back to play again for the Rangers, Bruins, Blackhawks, Blue Jackets, Islanders, and I-17 career. And fun to watch back and look at one of his better games with the Isles. December 10th, 1996, Islanders hosting the Coyotes at the Nassau Coliseum. It was Nikolai Khabibulin in goal for the then Phoenix Coyotes. Tommy Salo wearing the fisherman jerseys for the Islanders in goal for your New York Islanders. In the first period, only one goal. It was Marty McGuinness, his 8th, from Derek King and Travis Green, just 2 minutes and 48 seconds into the game. Isles up 1-0, and that's the lead they took into the second period. Then Brian Berard doubles the Islanders' lead 38 seconds into period 2, his 3rd of the year from Marty McGuinness, 2-0 Isles. The Coyotes get on the board, however, at the midway point of the period. Keith Tkachuk, his 12th, from Mike Gartner and Chris King at 9:58. Isles lead cut to 2-1. But then Ziggy Palffy is 18th from Doug Huda and Nicholas Anderson at 10:40, gives the Islanders a 3-1 lead. Then the Islanders' power play goes to work. Jeff Finley off for holding the stick. Brian Smolinski, his 4th, from Nicholas Anderson, and our Islanders' birthday of the day, Brian Berard at 12:11. Islanders up 4-1. Claude Lapointe gives it a 5-1 lead for the Islanders. Ziggy Palffy and Brian McCabe, the helpers. Then, with the Islanders short-handed late in the second period, Lapointe off for holding the stick. McCabe, his 3rd, a short-handed goal for the Islanders. McGuinness and Anderson, the assist. Then, with 5 seconds left in the second period, Nicholas Anderson, his 3rd, from our Islanders' birthday of the day, Brian Berard and Claude Lapointe. Islanders up by a score of 7-1 after 40 minutes. Nicholas Anderson adds to the Islanders' lead early in the 3rd, his 4th from Palffy and Smolinski. Oleg Tverdovsky gets a shorthanded goal midway through the 3rd to get Phoenix a little closer, but the Isles skate away with a dramatic one-sided 8-2 win. Nikolai Khabibulin pulled, and Darcy Wakaluk finished up and played the 3rd period, allowing that last goal. For Brian Berard, our Islanders' birthday of the day, 1 goal, 2 assists, a +4, and he had 3 shots on goal. Nicholas Anderson, 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points. That was his big game as well. Tommy Salo, 28 saves to earn the win. The Islanders, 30 shots on goal, and the Coyotes, 30. But for Brian Berard, a solid performance there. And again, Brian Berard, got to interview him during the second tour of duty. Just an all-around good guy, and it was great to see him be able to make that comeback and overcome. The result of those, he ended up winning the Masterton Trophy in 2003, 2004. for the game clock. As well. All right, they just can't get on track. Hopefully, we see a better performance. They are well adjusted and for this game. Game Monday as well, the next game of the homestand, and we'll have the latest injury updates and Islanders news. Thanks for making Locked On Islanders your first listen every day. Now, your second listen, Locked On Fantasy Hockey. Host Steele Roden and Flip Livingston help you become the expert of your fantasy league. It's free and available wherever you get podcasts. Have a great weekend, buddy. Stay safe. And of course, let's go Islanders.